Welcome back, guys. We're here with KT Rolster up 1-0 over the Jin Air Greenwings. And BDD going to pick up his 6th MVP of the Summer Split. I was looking at the MVP rankings. He's pretty close to the top, actually. The highest rated MVP of anybody from the bottom 3 teams. And we also got Big Chungus back here in the mid lane. See if we get any more Zed, Mr. Papa.
I'm ready for the 3-star Zed return. Leave open that Corki and get that Zed in there to hopefully do better than last time. Nova also coming in as well. Was the starting support alongside Teddy last year, but lost his spot to Kellin, who had that inbuilt synergy with Root. Let's do it once more with Feeling, Valdez. Let's see if Jin Air can find a way to make this more competitive, because game number 1 was all about KT, and in particular, BDD.
BDD. We'll see if he gets his AZIR in this game.
Your spelling is getting much better.
I know, I try to keep it small after my math debacle the last time. I said something was like a 9,000 gold lead, it was like 13. Like, I wasn't even close, it wasn't like 1,000
You should
off.
be able to gauge 10,000 or more.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on that day. So again, that's why I like to keep my spelling to small words under 5 letters.
Well, Jin Air is not going to be rolling on a new top laner in this game. They did roll 3 different players around the Rift. They've affected every lane except top, given that the support has changed. They've got first pick, so a little bit harder to find room for Zed, but we're always optimistic when Chongo's in the lineup. No Corki ban so far. Will Chongo dare play the Corki?
No, he's going to play Zed against BDD.
I hope so.
That's where I've got my eggs.
His most played this season is Zed. Probably the only player in the world that could say that.
Wow. It's because he played 2 games and everything else is 1 game.
Yeah, but I mean, he's played altogether 7 games, which is what? Over a third of an LCS season, and his most played is Zed. It's not even a facetious stat, it's true.
Yeah.
Well,
How about a Kali first pick?
I mean, the champion power level is higher. They're going to flash it, but they will not be locking it just yet. As the first pick, Thomas Kent will come in.
Immediate hover response into lock-in of Akali and Sejuani.
A lot of ability to use that input synergy in order to get more advantages, so can't really say I have any problems with taking that line of play. Jin Air's hovering some fun stuff.
AP Shyvana. See that a lot in Korean solo queue.
It's not very good, but it is fun.
You just burst people for like 1,000 damage when you're in Dragon form and you throw out an E.
Speaking of bursting people for 1,000 damage, the higher AP Ezreal builds that we've seen recently, 3rd, 4th item, can definitely go that way. We've seen very little Ezreal lock-ins this week, with a lot of Ezreal bans. But Jin Air doesn't always draw quite that level of fear from the enemy. What are we first round, Jin Air?
Jace could be the pick here. He's gonna take it into potentially Akali, but could just throw Akali mid and pick something else for the top lane.
I'm thinking this is probably Chongo's pick. I'm actually very surprised he didn't just first round Aatrox, but didn't go down that route just yet. And with a Mairang run the lineup, we have C's, who likes to play every champion hyper-aggressively. Always mention that he plays Karthus like Kindred, so I'd be down for seeing some Kindred. Dread's let me down so far this season. He's still spamming it in solo queue, but refusing to play it in pro games.
Maybe someday we will see that, but today is not the day.
It's seeming really hard for Jin Air to go for an unsolicited Zed pick, because they already have a lot of physical damage. Chance he could go the Elise Zed route. That's what they did last time, I think, at one point. They have played Elise Zed this season.
They had Zed Karthus too.
That's right.
To
first time.
Basically nuke from afar.
It didn't work, to be clear.
Speaking of Elise.
Evelyn's still available, Valdez.
Yeah. Talia.
True.
Let's get her in the jungle.
And she's been played this week multiple times.
Yeah. I'm a big fan.
one of the laners who has strong synergy with Sejuani going to be banned. What about Camille in this game? Camille against Jace is actually one of those matchups where if you get vertical jungling or you get a bit of jungle help, things can happen. They're going to hold their horses and just get the support Volibear next to the Kai'Sa. Almost said Kalista there. I had to bite my tongue for a moment.
Yeah.
Seem to remember SnowFlower having a pretty poor game on Volibear in a previous match, but definitely wasn't an issue in the first game. As we just want to know if Chongo will in fact be ascending to 3-star Z status.
And Evelyn, there you go. One of our AP junglers going to hit the rift.
I heard a murmur from the crowd. They also maybe are wondering what we are. I think it's going to be Chongo on Jace, to be clear. But I'd be down for some more Z.
All right, what's it going to be? Lindarang's doing a lot of talking, so that's how you kind of know we're drafting for the top lane. I'd be okay with top Zed, too. You know, Zed in general would be okay, but it's Renekton.
Most likely it's the blind top laner. Jace has a winning matchup against Akali until he doesn't, as is a lot of those matchups. So, what are we playing, KT Rolster? Are we going to roll out anything crazy? Or are we just going to go for the Aatrox and work it out with some lane assignments? Doesn't seem like KT Rolster want to reinvent the wheel. Valdez?
Yeah, doesn't quite look like it. As Aatrox is going to be locked in here. The real question is, where is everything going? Got some Jin Air fans here. Root fans. Here's some KT fans out there in the audience. I think that's a plane flying through a storm as it is upside down.
Oh, you're talking about the sign, right.
Yeah, well.
I thought it was the
it's a good
plane.
sign. It's a good sign,
It's
we'll
on
say
point.
that.
Jin Air did a lot more winning when they had the ties on their jerseys. They changed their jerseys at Casper Cup. Finally, you changed your jersey, and yet they've really started only losing since then. They've won one best of 3 outside of relegation since.
Wow. It's been almost an entire year of League of Legends for them. And that's
feels
where they're
like
at right now.
way longer.
Yeah. It's probably got to feel pretty bad. Let's see what C's can do on Evelyn. She can get kind of out of hand, especially in solo queue if she gets fed. But you can play around her pretty well when you are in pro play and coordinating with your team, so that's what we'd like to expect out of KT Rolster.
And we should also expect out of C's wanton aggression. Level 2 Evelyn, no waiting farming for level 6. We're going to see some crazy stuff here. If he keeps on brand, he finds some way to make everyone an invading jungler.
Yeah, I like that. You know, take the charm level 2.
Great.
Go mid.
Wonderful.
Flash, hate spike.
I'm
like
buying
it.
what you're selling about this. Evelyn was nerfed a little bit
I'm gonna
on this
steal
match.
that. I'm going to do that in solo queue. That sounds really like degeneracy at its fullest.
And keep climbing to Wood 5.
Yes, I mean, that's kind of the perpetual, never-ending story of every caster. We're all in Wood 5 forever.
There's a couple of issues. We've had some false starts involving technology so far this week. And Kingen is disconnected. He's decided he wants to play a different game.
Yeah. So
He's trying to load up Minesweeper, as far as I can tell.
Open the notepad here.
It's into Minesweeper. Oh, I can see the reconnect button.
All right, let's see if that works.
Oh.
That must be a Jin Air fan.
I think it's a fair guess.
It says
Let's go Jin Air.
more than purple, green.
Green
is
greater
better
than purple, let's go Jin Air.
Yeah. Seize mode, Chungo Zed.
Well, he got 50% of what he wanted. That's pretty good. Hand warmers there.
Last LCK before going to the military.
We get a lot of send-offs, don't we? We've got a lot of send-offs over here. There's a KT Yumi fan. And then, what is KT fan on the right side very, very exuberant about?
That's Ezreal. No, I don't know. Hama defeated SKT, so please
Win.
KT win.
Remember, even with a victory, even with a 2-0 victory, game score-wise, they'll be 2 games behind.
KT's used to winning easily, and a lot of hearts there for Prey. And,
Plenty of love. There seems to be some commotion.
Oh my god! Oh, I'm still in cover.
Whoa, that's a pretty good Prey. He's looking very dapper there. Gotta love all the Prey signs. Don't need to pray any longer. We're gonna get into game number 2.
The fans sticking it out for this one. Our second series started a bit later because the first one went 3 games. And fans staying all the way till the end. It's 9:30. Not a super late time for the LCK. We've had much later.
Yeah, game one was pretty quick.
Yeah.
So.
We'll see if Jin Air can force it to a game 3.
That'd be hype. It'll be their 4th game victory of the season. Want to get as many as possible. Tom Kench going home to pick up this sweeper. Very, very standard. Tom Kench lanes, you almost always see sweeper versus sweeper, especially if it's a tank matchup, just because Tom Kench actually pretty strong if you face check those first 2 autos. On the top side, we're looking at the runes, and yes, it will be Chongo going Ignite Jace in order to target the lane. See if Chongo goes respectful with Hex Drinker, because that does delay the kind of 1 rotation kill potential from the Akali. It will not be Conqueror, like we saw Caps preferring into the kind of more sustained matchup, into the Silas back at MSI. Sees his first time on Evelyn. I feel like when we get the Jin Air subs, they only play hipster champions. Have you noticed that? We got Zed mains and Evelyn and all sorts of crazy stuff.
Chungus wants to keep his Zed as his most played, so he picks another thing that he's playing for the first time. He's played 7 champions once, and then Zed twice.
Gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
If I went up to C's and said, Carpe Diem seize the day, would he know the reference? I'm gonna go with almost certainly no.
I'm gonna go with no, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
He might have heard Carpe Diem before, but I don't think he would understand the reference.
Seize the day.
A lot of the times, in case you guys are wondering, the names are picked by the coaching staff and not actually the player. It does happen from time to time, but for example,
really?
Reach chose Peanut for Peanut.
Who's that?
Wang Ho Han is his real name.
I don't recognize that name.
It's pronounced Wang Ho, not Wang Ho, in case you guys are
Yeah.
wondering.
Thank you for the clarification.
It's an important thing to discuss, Valdez. As C's, as we mentioned, is going to be aggressive, Valdez.
Yeah. Level 3 Evelyn gang, as they know.
The mid lane rotated as well, so
yeah.
It was, of course, a little bit straightforward on that one. And Lindarinag's being a real jerk to Kingen, keeping him zoned away from experience.
Yeah, you can be kind of mean, especially if you're Renekton up against Aatrox. But Kingen will get back. Not going to miss too much, actually. Lindarinag losing a bit of health there.
And look, Peanut ended up being a good choice of names. So a good job there, Reach.
Yeah, Peanut's a good name. We haven't had any other nut names. No almond.
That's true.
No walnut.
That's a really
chestnut.
Good name. Oh, chestnut's a good one.
Yeah, chestnut would be a good one. What other?
What was the one we had recently? I mean, Rich is a good name for.
Rich is a great name. It's
Why does it only work in Korea, that it's like the dictionary words rather than the kind of more effortful names that you see on the NANE? I guess it's because those names would never be available on the client. Usually, in case you guys... So the way, I guess the reason it does, now that I can think about it, work, is that what happens is, you choose your name, for example. Oh, Lindarinag took a lot of damage. Took the full combo.
Literally,
you choose your name, for example, Papa Smithy, and you're, what, dried bananas on the Korean server. Because you just take what's available, and you run with that, and then when you get picked up by a pro team, you don't necessarily have to change your name, but most Koreans have their name in Korean or some Korean text. You need a Romanized name for competitive play, and I guess you have to choose something new, and that's when you can break out the Oxford 3rd edition dictionary.
And you find C's.
That's a good name.
And root, or route.
And Chongo.
And Chongo, yes, of course.
Hey, Big Chungus is probably in there somewhere.
Big Chungus. For some reason that sounds so Australian. Is there anything, like any reference?
No, we would say Chungo.
Chungo?
We wouldn't say Chungus. Okay. So the thing you need to know about Aussie English is that we don't want to pronounce syllables we don't have to, as Lindarinag might be dead.
Well, he went pretty far up the lane, still has his flash. We'll be able to dodge away from that. And saving root slide down here, just as real Tom Kent's things. Anyway, back to the conversation.
So we want to save the amount of hard syllables because they're harder to say. You have to move your tongue more. So because of that, we would not say, we'd say chongo or chonga. We wouldn't go with, we stick with the vowel.
Okay. I guess that makes sense.
Sometimes you actually add, like, you make it longer, but you do still cut off the syllable, so it's still worth it because it's easier to say. Australians are weird. We go to long, painstaking lengths in order to get our words in order. Valdo!
Valdo! What about Valdi?
A little bit. Speaking of doing it, we're just YOLOing on the mountain Drake here as Jin Air.
That is a level 4.
Run, Cease.
Everybody run. Yeah, and they did. Nice running, guys. Well done.
The most famous is McDonald's becomes Macca's. Which does end in an S, but it's the plural. The best part of that is, for 1 year for Australia Day, which falls on my birthday, they actually renamed McDonald's officially Macca's.
Really?
Yeah, they put the signs up. It was great. Shout out to McDonald's for that. That was a good one.
Wait, for 1 day or?
Just for 1 day.
All right.
For 26th of January. I think it's like 3 years ago.
What is Burger King down there again?
So in I believe every state except one of them, it's Hungry Jack's.
Hungry Jack's. Who is Jack anyway?
I don't know, but he hasn't had burgers in a while apparently. And the burgers are better at Hungry Jack's is their thing. That's the you know, call.
Oh, like we are the fast food chain that spends.
Well, literally every ad
2 cents more.
Every ad ends with the burgers are better at Hungry Jack's. That's how they end all their ads.
I can guarantee I could find a million better burgers than the ones at Hungry Jack's.
Look, be all about your mom and pop stores, but the big difference is they have like tomatoes on more of their burgers.
Whoa!
And they do. The Whopper is very different to the Big Mac.
It is. I don't like Whoppers. I like Big Macs. I'm a Big Mac
I object to the Whopper because it doesn't have cheese on it natively, but I do like a Whopper.
Yeah. Cheese is important, for sure. Here in Korea, they have the Mega Mac. I don't know if that's a thing
It's
worldwide.
not worldwide, no, but it's too much.
But when you order to your house, you need to order above 10,000 won, which is...
Wait, do you order
about
the Mega Mac?
$10. Instead of getting, like, extra sides and stuff, I get the Mega Mac, yes. I get the Mega Mac extra value meal, and then it's like... I get...
Just so you guys know,
chicken nuggets on
imagine the Big Mac, but with double patty on both sides. It's too much of the hamburger meat. This is too much. You're a bad person.
What's wrong with that?
No. All right, he's level 6 now, so he can go for even more sneaky gangs. Whisper this one. Give me the whisper gang.
This is what Evelyn does.
All right, we'll keep whispering until the action's over.
Oh, she's waiting behind him.
He has no idea.
So going in for kill. Kingen solo. Oh boy, score! Oh no, he roots in the Whisper gang. As C's is gonna die too, with not much of a whisper.
You would say it was a careless whisper, Valdez.
Aww.
They thought they had it. They thought the kill was coming, but it's not there. Into the death chamber goes C's and friend.
I can't believe Score had to ruin it. I was trying to hold on and do it there towards the end. It was reminding me of the Whisper song. You remember that one? By the Yin Yang twins. Yeah, that wasn't your thing? Okay, here we go. Exhaust is going to be pretty good though, but Nova actually with a lot of health here is going to try to turn it around on the Prey. Devours somebody, misses the lick, and he dies to SnowFlower as he gets bit on the butt. Oh boy, that was kind of embarrassing.
Into the death chamber goes the Tom Kenge. There was a change with how Tom's Q is calculated in terms of its arc, and that might have actually trolled him here. I saw that interaction on the LEC before. That's a pretty costly one. You wouldn't have thought Tom Kent could miss his lick there. As the Whisper gank, Kingen wasn't to know. When did they? So they actually got the full-off charm. Is Chongo dead? Yes.
He's dead. One-on-one.
Huh.
Solo Killerino. BDD. We don't exactly know how that happened. It looks like he did a little bit of dancing there towards the end. He's feeling happy about his kill.
Well, it seems like Jin Air's early game is laying them down against KT of all teams. Just too strong as KT in the early game. Again, Krabs is watching. He's scared about KT Rolster. But KT can't qualify for Worlds.
All right,
so he's got that one for him.
again.
Let's watch this one. We thought it was going to come in, you know. We thought there was going to be options. When do you R is always the case. Evelyn. Turns out the R comes in, doesn't get the effect, and sees it. Carpe diem.
That Aatrox is pretty good.
And then Prey goes for the all-in. Let's watch the Nova fight back, because he's like, well, screw it, I'm going to battle. Tom Kench is very good at melee. Let's watch the Q. Oh, nice.
It's like his model was bigger. He was covering Kaisa.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And in between all of this, Chongo, who needs to win until he doesn't, finished his, possibly it was the Hex Drink. It could also have been the Rune. Not to know, but he died, and it was the Hex Drink.
Maybe he lives if he just doesn't go back in there, which was kind of sad.
He wanted to put down the parting ignite, but sadly, he was just waving goodbye to his life. Cease is trying to solo down the Infernal, as someone might be caught in transition.
Oh, big Chungus. Oh, Chungus. He's getting chased down through the jungle. Not much of a Chungus here. The smite is going to go the way of Evelyn, though, and he smites down that bear at the end of it all as Big Chungus Stick die. And now we're going aggressive here, trying to zone him back. Getting on top of Score and Prey, but BDD is here. The Dominus really not getting much value at all. Score is going to go down, and the flash comes in from Lindarinag, trying to get on top of Prey here. That's going to be another kill going the way of Jin Air. BDD looking for it, but he doesn't quite have the damage. That's going to be 3 kills now going the way of Jin Air.
No way for Kingen to join the fight. About 15 seconds away from his teleport. They opt into it. Jin Air cuts away their recall timings. This Aatrox is the benefactor. He is now just the most gold for 12 minutes, 1,800 gold ahead of Renekton. I don't think there's going to be any problems in the 1v1 here as we get this entire replay. A lot of action. It was hard to know where to focus. Probably the most important thing from Jin Air's perspective is they did pick up the info. Smite came in. The bear was all alone.
It went down to 8 health, by the way, right after the smite, and I think his auto attack got it.
I wonder why SnowFlower decided to get in their melee range with no one anywhere near him. I guess he thought maybe with his third W proc, he could actually steal away with the Drake, but it was a little bit optimistic. And from there, we ran out of spots, and BD only picks up the perfect execution now. Thinks, well, maybe I can get a counter kill, but doesn't get the connection he's looking for.
Yeah, not quite. Seas was going the opposite way. He's able to dodge away from that perfect execution. Totally fine. Now Jin Air do have a couple of members. You know, Big Chungus is having trouble in the mid lane, but we got 2-0 and 1 on Ezreal. That's Root, by the way, who has a Tom Kent. So that's nothing to, you know, laugh about if you are on the KT side, especially with the Infernal and even the Evelyn, who's been kind of going for objectives in this game after that initial aggression. It's 2-1 and 2. Has been a part of all 4 kills here for the side of Jin Air.
1,200 gold lead with the Klepto and everything rolled in. And the other fun thing is we're actually going cull stack for cull stack between the 80 carries. I've never seen the parity in cull stacks here. 2 is the difference here. The Root just about ahead on that particular metric. So gold top lane, happy times for KT Rolster. Gold bot lane, happy times for Jin Air. And those 5 turret gold just from turret plates lead for Kingen. Can Jin Air force us into a game number 3? This is the time, Valdez. This is the easiest of their remaining fixtures. Sliding scale, it is Jin Air.
That is true. They need this one. That's all we can really say. This is about as good of a chance as they are going to get, even though KT are still ahead on gold. A lot of that, actually, a couple of kills going the way of Sejuani, but the majority of their gold is on the Aatrox as they will spot this Rift Herald being taken out here by KT.
They have a lot more team fight tools, KT Rolster, than Jin Air, so there is, again, a lot of good options for them going on in the game. Jin Air's big thing is getting those 2 items done and sieging. They got a very nice siege comp here, and KT ain't got no wave clear. So if Jin Air can get a Baron at 20 minutes, pre-25 minutes, this is the 5,000 to 6,000 gold Baron buff out. That's the dream here for Jin Air.
I mean, we'll have to wait and see if they can even get to that moment. We do have that mountain, and more gold in the pockets of Root is always a good thing.
Oh, Chunga. I think he missed it. Did he miss it? I couldn't tell for sure, but I think so.
Small Chungus that time around.
Didn't get the connection he's looking for on that one. Got the confirmation from the producer. Yep, missed it. So, sadly, not to be. And the back timing's frustrating too. Both 80 carries backed actually before the call was done. 7 stacks remaining for Root. Can C's find a way to go? Because, like you mentioned, I am always endlessly surprised by how much damage an Evelyn can do. Especially from ahead. Rift Herald jammed in bot lane, post 14 minutes. It is 16-15 into the game, but trying to find those turrets, and Jin Air's rotation has to be a lot more respectful than KT's.
Yeah, they do. Right now, though, KT owning the Jin Air red buff jungle. Just getting a bunch of deep vision down and spotting whenever C's is going to go for these Raptors, which Evelyn does love to do. Very important ward there that Jin Air would love to deny if possible. Second Mountain Drake of the game as well is going to be a big focal point in this one.
Big for Jin Air if they can get it. Here we go.
Snipe Lindarinag down. That's not really going to work. In goes the Decisive, but break it super low. Kingen frontlining here, but taking a bunch of damage, has to flash. And KT, you're like, whoa. That is not the fight we were looking for. And now a bunch of low health bars. Jin Air could consider just sieging, but instead will move over and take their second mountain.
Double smite and both ults used for the bot lane of KT. So double flash, I should say, and both ults used from the bot lane means that, yeah, there's no way to contest it. Valdes, Baron, and like we mentioned, Siege. Double mountain Infernal. Maybe the stars are aligning, because Jin Air's got a whole lot in their court. They have everything except team fighting looking pretty good for Jin Air.
Now, they have been in positions like this before. And they really do need to execute when it does come down to it. You know, no funny business around the Baron. If you're going to do it at a decent time. Somehow KT still have a growing gold lead. I think that's partially because of the bottom turret that's been taken, as well as the top lane difference overall. But those Drakes are going to be ultra value, especially as the gold where they need it, you would say, on the side of Jin Air.
And the Drakes also, like you say, are exactly what they would like when it comes to how they want to play out this game. Now, doing Baron, even with 2 mountains, is scary, because Evelyn has exactly 1 Ruby Crystal's worth of health, and nothing really on her brittle bones. She's very, very squishy, so they're going to have to find creative ways to do it, or just hope they can burst it fast enough, which is optimistic. In this moment, though...
Oh, gonna get that slowdown. SnowFlower has to flash the Shock Blast.
Well, that's an easy way to get a turret.
And that's the comp from the side of Jin Air. Just dunking people basically under turret with the help of the Evelyn.
And it's even scarier than you consider, because if they get Baron, Ezreal, Jace, start hitting the turret, Tom Kent is behind them, put down your wards left and right, and then Evelyn is also invisible patrolling one of those entrances. That's a whole lot of early warning systems and potential turn if you try to stop the siege. So this is potentially the sort of siege that KT will either have to hard all in on or just fall down on. There's a lot to like about the siege here for Jin Air. Is control ward in the lane. Catch looks for by score. Not going to find it.
I think even if they hit that, maybe after the slice and dice, there's a chance, but if not, it would just be a pretty simple escape from Lindarinag, but maybe they can get a flash out of him.
Double magic pen. Only score has any magic resist at all on the side of KT, not even a Murk Treads. Between the other 4, it means that Evelyn probably a level away from doing the big damage. it is, level 11.
Yeah, level 11. For Evelyn, say that 5 times fast.
Oh, please.
It's not your job, Papa.
I know my limits.
Maybe I can try it in the next team fight.
We got no wabams. You got more mind space to throw in some fun stuff.
To wag my tongue about, you know, say some silly things.
Jin Air would like to push up a lane and then get that siege on. It would have to be a 4-1. Right now they have no one to match Akali. Both the Renekton and the Jace will be killed by this Akali in the 1v1, so best to avoid that one and bring them to you. Sees rolls down the mid lane, putting down a deep ward. SnowFlower has been caught many times walking up on this Volibear, so he should perhaps be a little bit scared. No Callista to give him a get-out-of-jail-free card.
You'll notice how safely Frey was playing in the lane. They know about this Evelyn just lurking in the shadows nearby. And they're trying to, KT, get a bunch of vision around this Baron as much as possible and set up, you know, some kind of flank. You got Score on the left side looking for a potential flank there, but it is all going to be spotted out. You talked about the importance of finding a flank of some sort up against this siege comp.
And KT know that if they can keep Baron warded, there's probably no way they lose the game, though. So because of that, they're able to defend red side jungle that does have the kind of map topography advantage in terms of defending an objective. Around the Baron from the red side and around the Drake from the blue side. So for now, at least, the game will stall out. Very difficult to park Renekton on top of the Baron unless they've already won a team fight. So what Jin Air needs to do is create some pressure somewhere on the map that KT have to respond that isn't Baron, and then Evelyn swoops in for the kill. They desperately need that pick into Baron scenario. Dream case would be Sejuani, but she has Stoneplate and Flash Up. No unsealed spellbooks this game, so only the one Smite, a much more honest team. Or game, I guess we should say. Push up some vision here, sees lies in white.
Yeah, and you can tell that KT is always going to be respecting that Evelyn on this map. And trying to see what Kingen can do in this game. I think there's a bit of onus on him. As okay, flashing on in and see you later. That's all it takes. Just, you see the flash come out of Prey, but it just doesn't matter. Follow flash ult is going to be more than enough, and they get the one pick. They have double mount. And
let's introduce you to double magic pen Evelyn. Doesn't have anything else beyond it, and yet it's enough to blow up Prey. Jin Air pushes up. They're going to get an easy objective up top side here. BDD waves goodbye to the turret.
Yeah, not going to immediately jump on Baron or anything like that, but still getting ahead.
Here we go.
As okay, the Evelyn's gone. And, well, they do get the Devour in on here, trying to get on top of that Ezreal, and they will immediately. The Dominus comes in from Lindarinag, but it's only damage on the SnowFlower. And immediately the game just falls apart again for Jin Air somehow. KT with a nice follow-up engage there right after the Evelyn disappears.
Well, the allies were on a recall. Evelyn couldn't be there. They were always going to be outnumbered. They were instantly outnumbered. Nice aggression as BDD wants Seize.
Found her. Seize does a crap ton of damage. Now it's SnowFlower on the duty here, trying to just zone him away, but we're turning now onto Lindarinag. Flash forward even, trying to get this kill. Is it enough damage? A bunch of healing comes through once again, and Nova's gonna save him. Seize waiting here. Maybe he can burst down SnowFlower. The ult, where is it? Not gonna have it just yet. Finally gets it back. Does a huge amount of damage, but he's all alone, 1v3. And unfortunately, that won't be enough for him. But at least Jin Air, after that disaster team fight, are able to stop the Baron.
Man, the Hate Spike almost lined up for a further double kill after the first kill onto the Volibear. For 2-2 on this Evelyn, she can do weird and wonderful things if she gets far enough ahead. The Baron being abated, like you mentioned, was the minimum objective here for Jin Air. They really chased the lost top side as it all started here. Ult comes in and they think, what's my burst range? The answer is so much. 782 damage.
It was really clean too. It's, you know, Charm, Q-Flash,
but
ER.
On the recall was Evelyn, and still the teleport was channeled. They really should have tried to get away, because it turns out they can't get 5 people there. It's impossible.
Evelyn's not that overpowered.
He doesn't have Echo ultimate to get back with her all.
If only.
No, it's fine. Let's keep her out.
Yeah, well.
But from there, she's almost met, you know, a really bad end, but because the Akali ult's down, there's no instant killing available on this play. Speaking of killing, we're going to get straight out of the replay.
Glacial prison blown there. Take a look at C's.
Uh-oh.
That's the positioning you're looking for. I think he was spotted.
I'm going to guess he wasn't, but it's possible.
Kingen immediately dashed out of there, but maybe just scared in general of the enemy team. Knows that Evelyn is lurking.
Speaking of Evelyn, it's not like she has way more gold than the Sejuani. She's only a few hundred gold ahead of score, despite being 2 camps down, but 4 kills altogether.
And it needs to be mentioned that Kingen is just massive right now. He's level 16 to 13 of Lindarinag. He's got 2.5 items, that Caulfield's Warhammer we always talk about. Everybody loves to hear that New York accent. But it's just crazy Aatrox, and his teleport is going to be back the next time around before Lindarinag. Guy can do some serious work. Let's see how Kingen does. He picked up his Death's Dance. And if he can actually, I feel like a bunch of the pressure's on him to put pressure in that side lane and win that matchup.
Well, Kingen got the level up on everyone else. He got to play single player before everyone else got to join the multiplayer game by staying top lane, getting 5 turret plates, 800 gold. And also a nice and large CS lead. Makes Renekton look like anything but a counterpick when you're this far ahead on the Aatrox. Spreading the lead now with also the Death's Dance done. They find the right angle here. Jin Air's gonna die real fast.
Nova really wanted the scuttle grab, and he's going to get it here for his team. That's actually a great play. Offers a bunch of vision around that Baron. More important than you would think. As, yeah, Kingen's actually not even sitting in a side lane and pushing against Renekton. He's just sitting here waiting for a fight to break out.
Jin Air need Baron, kind of like Hanwha Live in game number 3 of our first series. Otherwise, it feels like KT will be able to salvage this game. Salvage is a weird thing to say when they're ahead in gold, but it's such a different game. The Elven running around and the burst potential there. Still no magic resist on anyone other than Score. But stopwatch should come in handy for Prey.
He's just waiting for someone to face check right side.
Range.
Score's positioning, though. Sitting right next to Bray.
He's a mobile sweeper.
Yeah. We've seen that from some Sejuani's mobile ward. Mobile sweeper. This case is Score, and he knows, everybody on the side of KT knows after that last kill, that, well, maybe they don't know about this. We have a 2-man Baron going on right now from Jungus and Lindarinag.
This is really smart by Jin Air. KT have no idea. They're going to check soon, though, you would think.
Will they? I don't know.
They need to check. All right, it's been too long, guys. All right, it's going to be a free match.
All right, now it's time, but there's no jungler here. The spike comes in, and you are way too late to the party as the 2-man Baron is successful in the Jin Air airplane. I can hear those engines finally rumbling.
That's with 3 subs as well. They come in and make a really smart call. Hope we get the comms on that one later. But it was just so long for them to be out of vision, and you understand the worst case scenarios that KT were playing out, but you gotta check it, you gotta find a way. Blue Trinket is available now, not clear on if it was on cooldown at the time, but Jin Air, under the noses, take Baron, and we already mentioned this should be an insane Baron buff power play. They have Jace Ezreal, and they're against a no wave clear KT Rolster.
Their poke is just going to be out of control. There's a couple of squishies in Akali and Kai'Sa that need to be so careful about getting anywhere near the front when the siege is on, because, I mean, they could just straight up die. It's lethality. Jace, who's doing insane damage with the shock blast, and Ezreal needs no introduction.
Guess who they do have? They do have Mr. Aatrox, who is really big. Teleport flank timing for Kingen. Gonna have to channel some of the good old SMEP days with this one. Jin Air could still rock up to a team fight and lose it. It's possible. it has been the scene of the crime before in a Jin Air early game lead, and Kingen, bless his heart, is coming from a nice angle, but will be scouted out by the zombie wall.
He's gonna see Score coming in. Over there, he goes, not expecting the Aatrox this time around. They're trying to get the Evelyn, but he's gonna flash away. In goes BDD though with the perfect execution. Able to get back to the Shroud with the Shuriken. Makes it look so easy, picking that one up, but the poke is coming in from Root.
Jin Air should just pick up the minion wave in mid and get this back to a sieging game.
Well, that was not the bush he was in. Trying to deny that back was Root, but the push comes in. They're going to take down this inner turret.
Even 4v5, this is fine, but they can't afford to overstay. SnowFlower might just be dead.
Ugh. Yeah, he's going to get on in there. The flank coming in now from Score.
5v4.
See how they can force this fight. The ultimate going to go down from Score. SnowFlower going in. BDD pretty low in the back, and immediately the Bear's going to go down. And that exhaust is perfect on a prey. And he's going to go down as well as BDD. Looks like Lindarinag and Chungo have been able to do it. Take out the 2 carries, as now it is just that massive Aatrox, but he's all alone.
And will they be able to get even more here than just the inhibitor? Respawn timer, 15 seconds on SnowFlower. Kingen will be full health, but with no ultimate. See if Jin Air look for the end.
Well, we are going to get back here from Lindarinag, but he has TP. He will be using that right on that one. The ultimate going to go wide. Kingen trying to play bodyguard here. The Bear comes up, but we still need 10 more seconds as Seas is back as well. Jin Air looking for the win here. 4 on 2. Do they have the damage? They're going to take out the Bear. Kingen is trying to go 1v4 at this point in time, but he's going to go down. But the respawns come in as in goes Ray, but he dies immediately. Oh no! BDD though might just be able to salvage it himself as Lindarinag is massive in his own right.
Minions are on the Nexus. I can't see the health, but I assume it's okay.
Oh boy, it looks like it's okay. Nova's here. He was able to get out actually with an Abyssal Voyage somehow.
BDD says you shall not pass. The game doesn't end just yet, but Nova wants to try to get there.
Lindarinag, okay, he's coming on in. He's got a lot of items, and it's so good against the Akali, especially ticking down. But not an Ignite, actually. In comes SnowFlower, trying to flip him away from the Nexus. What am I watching? As it looks like Jin Air will just barely have enough. GG. We are going to a game number 3.
6 games, the dream. 2 days back-to-back, Valdez. We get to do it one more time as Jin Air Greenwings find their 4th game victory. And they're 1 game victory away from first, stopping that a winless season from coming to reality, but even more, Valdez, from basically condemning KT to relegation.
They can hardly believe it. That might actually be Chungo's first win. I'm not 100% on that one. It is actually. I just checked the stats. It's his first win for this season, so congrats to him. He can hardly believe it. That game was pretty insane towards the end.
The ending was definitely, we've had a lot of these Nexus rushes, but none quite like that, where it felt like it was 8 versus 7, with people respawning and coming back from base to try to close it. The zombie pushes were real. Jin Air get over the line with Seas, with Nova, with Chongo, and no one has ever gone winless, Valdez, and that might be a stat that continues because KT have work to do to put Jin Air out of this series.
Jin Air came into that matchup and actually just straight up outplayed KT in that one. And that is worrisome for the KT lineup when you think about it. Jin Air, now they've got everybody in the room. Everybody looks much happier compared to game number 1, as KT coach here seems dumbfounded as to how that could have happened.
KT made mistakes, you know. They're not a perfect team. They're not a fantastic team, but they were taken down here, even though they have a lot of proud members and a lot of LCK titles. If you start to put them together, Prey himself with 4, for example. Jin Air, no titles, no guarantee they'll still be around in 2020. They will be playing in relegations, but the amount of happiness this would bring their fan base, the gladplaying.jpg potentially being posted for the first time since what, the 12th or 11th game of spring, Valdez.
Yeah.
It's been a long run since then. As they look over all the data, and we wonder, what's the next champion going to be from C's and Big Chungus? Because between the two of them, they've got quite the eclectic pool.
They're a fun duo to bring back into this one. Nova doing his job on the Tom Kent, his most played, of course. Finally gets a win on that champion here in summer. And Kingen got ahead. He got a bunch of gold, but Jin Air got objectives, and they played more as a team early on in that one, and Root got a lot of gold as well. So that's why that gigantic Ezreal number comes out there for that game number 2. And do you believe in miracles is the question I have to ask, because Jin Air might just be able to take a match tonight.
It could happen, Valdez. This is the closest I think they will be weighted because of the opposition they're playing. It was a close 2-0 loss to FLICKR, but they've gotten the win here. KT were able to beat them comfortably in the first round robin. The what-ifs are so real right now for that very, very rare sighting. There are bird watchers and that have that thing you covet. If you're into planes, the Glad plane, that's a rare one.
It hasn't flown for so many millennia, it feels, at this point. We look around, but we actually have a roof in here, so it's hard for planes to fly. But either way, guys, that's going to do it for Game 2. We got one more after the break.